Rarely do you find yourself rooting for a player more than you think that they want to root for themselves. But for some odd reason, when it comes down to Zion Williamson, that's exactly how it's starting to feel. Because where some people will sit there and say that maybe he just doesn't want to be in New Orleans, there is a narrative now being pushed, and he's done nothing but supported by his actions, his weight, things of that nature. That he simply doesn't care about being the best professional when it comes to being a player in the NBA. And that is crazy to think about. Here is one of the situations that you find yourself in. Now, everyone likes to compare Zion to Charles Barkley, and I want people to understand that that was a good comparison in some respects. In fact, you've heard Scottie Pippen and some of the beef he had with Charles Barkley. He called him fat, out of shape, not wanting to win, stuff like that. But I want people to understand that that was Charles Barkley after he had won MVP. That was Charles Barkley after he was arguably one of the best players in the league, if not at one season, at least for one season, the best. Argue with your mama. I'm just saying he got voted MVP. I ain't saying he was better than Mike. It is what it is. But what I am saying is he was considered one of the best amongst his contemporaries, got his team to a finals, and actually balled out. He wasn't a scrub. He was someone who consistently put up big numbers. He's one of the best rebounders all time. He may not have lived up to his full potential, but he gave you enough to sit there and say that Charles is definitively one of the best players to have ever touched a court. And Zion came along, and we saw what he could do as a rookie, as a young man, fresh out of school, how he was able to bully grown men who had been in the league for years. We're talking about grown men who have their grown men strength, who are now sitting there. We're talking about full adults. And this kid, I say it appropriately, kid, comes in and says, "Excuse me." I saw him take a ball out of Giannis' hands like he wasn't even. Giannis was a freak of nature at that time. We're talking about Giannis at his full strength. Zion made him look more. You have someone with that ability, and then you look at it and you say, "Have." He takes it seriously. Potentially the best small forward, power forward slash whatever we've ever seen. One of. I'm not going to say the best. LeBron's always going to be the best until some small forward. But still, for him to come in that height, that ability, that physique, you just he had everything. But for some odd reason, it's not clicking for him that this is real. I've never rooted for someone so much for them to just not care. Now, there's other people who wasted their opportunity, especially if you go into football. You look at that, some people that fumbled the bag. Well, Zion is actually in that situation, and then some. Zion is in a situation where he got what upwards of 150, way over 150 million, and now he's in a situation because of the injuries, because of this, because not taking care of himself. A large portion of that money is no longer guaranteed after this. In fact, that is something that was put into his contract. There was also a wait clause in his contract. Now, everyone is harping on this one, but I am sitting there saying, as a fan, that is just ridiculous to see. It's ridiculous and sad because even if Zion did not want to play for New Orleans, you still have to put out good tape. You still have to show the world that you're a player because when that opportunity for you to get to another organization exists, you then have leverage. You're fumbling the bag and they gave it to you. Like they literally, you didn't even have to really earn it. You got that bag by barely playing. You've played 40% of the games you technically should have played. 40%. You're not even 50-50 with me, baby. What's happening right now? I cooked Ja Morant because I felt like he was someone who needed to be a part of a lifestyle that he had no business being a part of. I'm not going to sit there and question Ja Morant whether he's gangster or not. I don't care about that. Realistically, that could be his environment. That could be what he in. I have no idea. I don't know that man, right? But the one thing I did know is he had the opportunity to sit there and be a generational player, make generational money, and literally be the face of one of the best, biggest organizations in the world. And when you see someone that looks like you squander that opportunity, you have the right to speak on. I really do believe that. And he's a public. We have the right to speak on that. I have to cook Zion the same way. because you literally had the opportunity, the clear-cut opportunity to be the face of the league. All you had to do was play when you were able to play. All you have to do is take care of your body. And now I can't sit there and harp on this because what some of these injuries were legitimate. But now you can sit there and wonder, were some of these injuries because you didn't take care of your body? Because you're not doing the right things. You have the money to sit there and pay for the people who actually could help you to provide longevity for your career. He didn't do it. He wasn't doing it. He isn't doing it. And that is one of the things that I'm just sitting there like, yo, what is happening right now? We have to, you can't do that. You can't do that. And there was a particular point today that I can't let go. Kendrick Perkins said it. He said, what's happening now is you're now messing up the opportunity for the people behind you. And I never thought of it from that perspective. I never thought of it. But if you really look at it, the Ben Simmons of the world, now the Zion Williamsons, are ruining the opportunity for players to get top dollar the next go round. And the CBA is already leaning toward certain accolades you can't get, stuff like that, if you don't play certain games. If you don't play 65% of games, you can't get certain accolades. And a lot of these accolades that people are chasing, first team, all NBA, stuff like that, are tied to some major incentives for contracts for people to get the bag. So it's already leaning back toward the owner. It's already leaning back to, okay, yeah, we've given in a lot. Now, come on with it. We gotta put a good product on the floor. You need to be on the floor. And it's worked out in some cases. We see more of Kawhi Leonard. We see more of the people who normally would have sat out, stuff like that. They're playing. They seem to be playing well. But in Zion's case, I don't know. I've never seen someone look like he got fatter from game to game after playing a full game. Like, bro, what is happening? But that's enough about Zion. There's a second part I want to say this. The New Orleans organization has not done enough to ensure that he had the right vets, culture in place to avoid this situation. And at a time where you felt like you had to pay him, which I don't know why they felt pressured to do so. They didn't have to pay him. They did. So in so many ways, you gave a kid who showed you nothing realistically. But you had sat there and gave him everything off of potential that, again, he had not realized. Now, second season, I think he played 60 games. He put up like 20 something points, 60%. I got you, right? That one season, maybe you should make that move. But I don't think that was the time. Now, hindsight is 2020. I can always say that in retrospect. But I don't think Zion at any point had earned that money yet. He hadn't. But they did it. I take it to football. It's almost like how Arizona was bullied in so many respects to pay Kyler Murray. Just for them to be in a situation where they want to get rid of Kyler Murray after already firing their coach and stuff like that. If you're a sports fan, you know what I'm talking. New Orleans, you put yourself in that very same boat. And so while this may be a situation in which you can put a lot of onus on the players and put a lot on the player, Zion did not the obligation. People in his corner are not doing him a service. This is something that's gotten way out of whack. They clowns for that, for allowing that boy to go out there and not meet his full potential, not really capture something that very few people have the opportunity. Money is one thing, but now, even if Zion goes out right now, comes it back, and is very mid for what he could be, you have the opportunity to be one of the greats. Everyone saw it. Advantage of it. Anyone in your corner who's not helping you realize you need to remove clowns, not your guys, and not your family. I don't care what it is, not looking out for you. That's real talk. They're not looking out for you. But those people right there, somebody needs to get with him. OG needs to get with him and really help mentor that kid. Because he's still, even still, we saw John Morant come back. John Morant came back first game winner. Looks like the same John Morant. Even with all he's gone through, John Morant still, in my opinion, could be the face of the league. Keeps his nose clean and just moves. Hey, I don't do the same. I was young. I was dumb. Moving forward, I never put myself in that situation. Cool. 2, 3 years from now, he just keeps it straight. He still balls out. We will forget it ever happened. Zion has that same opportunity. Every single time he gets hurt, we're going to be looking at his weight. Every single time he gets it, he has to give us some clean tape. He has to put good product on the floor. He has to me, he has a more upward battle to get that image back than John Morant. And John Morant was on something that had to do with gun control, stuff like that, right? Something more egregious. Just talking about you. Weight under control and ball. And to even compare the two sounds stupid. Every time you sit there and have an ache, they're gonna be looking at it because that's the situation you put yourself in. So in the offseason, Zion said on Gilbert Arenas podcast that he was gonna be better, he was gonna do better. I need him to show that because I'm rooting for the kid. I really am. I want him to be one of the greats. He has that opportunity, has that ability, and I think it would be foolish for him not to capitalize. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, you put it in the comments. Tell me how you feel about it. Because man, it's one of those situations where it's gonna be one of those biggest what if situations if this continues. I hate to see that. The next time though. Peace.